Hello and welcome to Weather and Climate Chat. This is Monsoon Mike and Dr. Michael Davis. Dr. Davis, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, so this is our first recording, our first podcast of 2018. Last time we got together was about a week or two before Christmas. And at that point, we were having a fairly average, monotonous meteorological winter at that point. But I guess you could say, figuratively, all hell broke loose around Christmas with the temperatures. And we didn't see 30 degrees for a good couple of weeks. So
yeah, and we also had a white Christmas, too.
And we did technically have that white Christmas thanks to that little Christmas morning's event that just dusted up my ground just enough to make it a white Christmas, so that made me happy.
Not much, but it made everybody happy.
Just enough to make everybody happy. So you know, and you and I have to admit that when we last recorded 2 weeks prior before Christmas, we didn't really quite see. Well, we saw that things were going to cool down around Christmas, but we didn't quite see. And I don't think anybody really quite saw
the magnitude that we
I
saw.
don't think anybody quite saw the magnitude of the cold that we just went through. What happened, Dr. Davis?
We had a very deep trough that was developing in the east. Pretty much went all the way down to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You had even Disney World report some snow flurry activity.
They did.
I believe the day before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we then saw temperatures drop below freezing at 1:35 p.m. in Allentown. I forget what it was for Reading.
Okay.
And we didn't get above freezing till just Tuesday?
A couple of days ago.
I think.
Yeah. A couple of days ago. So, and there's so many other little side stories with the cold. Let's first talk about the cold. Why was it so cold? Was this what they were talking? Remember a couple of years ago when the big buzzword was polar vortex? Was this like a polar vortex of sort?
It was the polar vortex.
Okay.
And the fact that this was the air that should be sitting over the Arctic.
Okay.
But due to the loss of sea ice and warmer temperatures that are being experienced across the rest of the world, and also the Arctic area itself, you have a greater temperature change, which then results in a greater pressure change, which pushes the colder air down.
Wow. Okay.
And these outbreaks could be something more that we'll be seeing in the future, because climate change, not to go too much into it at this point, but
right.
If you have the winter is not going to be warming per se,
right?
But you're going to be getting big swings from one extreme to the other. That's why Sunday morning, just this week, it was 0 degrees.
Right.
And tomorrow, Friday, the 12th of January, we're looking at 60s, if not mid-60s.
Yeah, yeah. So an analogy that I like to use when I saw online, and I think it's a really good one, if you were to if you were to sit on a seesaw, like slowly, and the other end just goes up slowly, and that's the atmosphere balances out there. But if you throw like a bowling ball or something on the one end of the seesaw, the other end's just going to fly up to an extreme height.
It's a much more extreme swing that we're seeing.
Right. So if we have some parts of the world that are seeing, did you see yesterday or the day prior where Sydney, Australia was 117 degrees?
Yes, 117 Fahrenheit in Sydney.
Yes. So got 117 in Sydney and 0 degrees over this part of the world. So.
Yes, and we also had the president decide to tweet about climate change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And looking at the anomaly map, the eastern United States was cold, the rest of the world was warm.
Yeah, you saw all red and then one little blop of blue there.
Because the polar vortex was sitting over eastern United States.
Yes. Well, we'll try not to get too political, but yeah, that wasn't a very wise statement that he made. What was it? Something to the effect of so much for global warming, when it's cold outside. It's
yes.
Just like, I wish it was that easy. Don't you wish it was that easy? Okay. Well, so that's the cold temperatures. That's why it was so cold. We're getting a little break now, actually getting a big break tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to discuss another little side story that also happened while this was all happening. Erie, Pennsylvania, known for ridiculous amounts of lake effect snow, had a super ridiculous amount of lake effect snow right around Christmas.
That's right.
Final total, I think what did I just say, 62.9 inches?
62.9 inches, setting the new Pennsylvania 48-hour period snowfall record.
Right, which dates back to 1958 when it was 44 inches in Morgantown. So that record was totally destroyed. What's that up there? Did that polar vortex help that whole setup?
It did.
Okay.
In the respect that you have colder air being brought in from the north.
Right.
That colder air can't hold a lot of moisture, so it's going to be dry.
Right.
And then it gets pushed over Lake Erie and pretty much takes in that moisture from the lake being open and also the lake being warmer than the air. So that energy and moisture is being transferred to the air. And then when it reaches the terrain difference with northeast Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, even western New York, you're going to get the heavy lake effect snows to just develop and dump all their moisture on that part of the state.
So they had, we just barely had a white Christmas with a dusting, and they had a 62-inch white Christmas. So.
Yes, they had a lot more than we did.
I'm almost, and I haven't heard much in the news about this, but I'm almost a little concerned for them with this system that's coming in tonight, tomorrow. I know they're going to get a little more frozen than we are, but could they see some flooding issues? Yeah, they're going to get.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about ice jams and
ice jams.
The melting of all the snow that was then going to run off. So they're definitely concerned with flooding.
It doesn't look like they get a ton of rain, but enough that there could be some issues. Okay, so then now let's talk about the coming days. We finally just a couple days ago got above freezing, and now tomorrow, Friday, January 12th, we're talking 60 to 65 degrees. What's going on with that?
We have a low-pressure system that's coming out of the south, and right now I believe it's around Arkansas.
Right.
And we're going to be having a warm front passage tonight and into tomorrow. It's going to bring up a lot of warm air from the south, warm moist air, which is going to be helping to give us a very heavy dose of rain on Friday. And then when the cold front and the low pressure pass our area, then we have to contend with some frozen precipitation on Saturday.
Yeah, so I see rain, depending on when you're listening to this, rain moving in tonight, which would be Thursday, January 11th, somewhere maybe in that 7, 8, 9 region. We get rain starting to move in. Looks like it stays pretty steady, overnight into first thing tomorrow and into tomorrow afternoon, just a steady rain. Might get a little break tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, maybe a little dry slot tries to work in, low pressure over like southern West Virginia at that point. Then it gets a little bit interesting Saturday, the wee hours of Saturday morning-ish, somewhere around 4-ish in the morning. We could start seeing, the cold front sweeps through, and we could start seeing some of that precipitation change over.
That's right.
Now, the question's going to be, what does it change over? Because we've got like 3 kinds of frozen precipitation that the atmosphere could do. Snow, sleet, freezing rain. What do you think, Dr. Davis?
Yeah, we have a whole mixed bag of precip that we'll be seeing on Saturday.
Right.
But I'm thinking it's going to be more toward the, I'm going to say sleet side.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Because I just think that cold air is going to be coming in with a lot of oomph.
Right.
Non-scientific term, but with it coming down from the north with the colder air.
So with sleet, you're thinking more of a thicker, slightly thicker layer of cold above rather than freezing rain, which would be just cold on the surface.
That's right.
That kind of makes sense. Okay.
I'm just thinking you're going to get that cold air coming in with enough force to push that warmer air out.
Okay. So and sleet would actually be the better of the 2 kinds of ice storms?
Yes, I would probably say in this situation that sleet would be the better one.
Right.
Because it's already frozen to begin with, and it's going to inhibit more of the snowfall totals.
Right.
So what you would normally get if you had a period of sleet going to snow is less snowfall.
Right.
That's what we're seeing back in my hometown of Cleveland, where they were supposed to be getting 9 to 14 inches of snow as of yesterday from the system. But because of it tracking further east, they are going to be getting less. And they're also looking at about a 1/10 of an inch or so of ice. So depending on how long that ice period lasts, it will determine how long or how much snowfall they actually receive.
But that track east that lowered their snowfall total is what's actually getting us in on the wintry action, because earlier this week we thought it just would be rain from top to bottom, but now it looks like we get that wintry mess on the back end.
Yeah, with it tracking several hundred miles further east, you're going to be getting that mixed bag for us.
Now, after the storm, it looks like the storm. Good thing about this is, Saturday morning could be a mess. Some people still do have to work Saturday, depending on what you do in your life. But I would say that out of all the days to choose, Saturday is probably one of the better days, so that's kind of good. And another good thing is it's also going to be any frozen precipitation looks to just be like a 2, 3, 4 hour sort of issue around here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the snow's going to stick around very long.
Right.
May get out of here by the afternoon.
Yeah, maybe even before the afternoon. I think
late morning.
The GFS model kind of just like flies it out of here after like 9, 10 in the morning. So, and who knows, you might even see a little bit of sun trying to break through later on Saturday. And then Sunday, nice and sunny again, but we're back to the freezer. A high of 24, a low of 12.
Get the high pressure coming back from the north.
Doesn't look quite as extreme as what we just went through. We're talking lows in the teens, highs in the 20s insteed of lows in the 0 and high in the around 10. So it's an improvement.
Yep.
But still cold. And then, we forgot we have a holiday on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, sunny and cold. Looks like we might have, it's looking way ahead. We're not going to get too far. It could be a little clipper system of some sort on Tuesday with some light snow, but we'll talk about that in the future.
Yeah, I would agree.
So there you have it, folks. We pretty much summarized the past crazy couple of weeks with the extreme cold, the extreme snow in the northwest part of Pennsylvania, the extreme warmth coming tomorrow, and then back to the freezer, and in between some ice and freezing rain and sleet. So that's
definitely some big swings that we're seeing here.
Definitely some big swings. And do you think, Dr. Davis, I haven't looked at the Climate Prediction Center lately, but do you think here's a question for you. Is this a trend we see for the rest of the winter, or is it going to be more of a monotonous winter at this point? Or
I would probably go with the idea that we're going to be seeing these big swings persisting for a while.
6 to 10 day outlook, Climate Prediction Center, a little below average. 8 to 14 day outlook has us back above average temperature wise. So that's good news if you want to, good news in that it looks like this shot of cold coming Sunday doesn't look to last as long and as extreme as the last one. 1 month outlook, from 1 month outlook, that still has us leaning on the colder side of average. 3 month outlook, we're kind of.
So that's for January, right?
That is for.
Or is that for February?
Yeah, no, it's for January, right? December was made December 31st for
checking.
January. Yeah, no, you're right. And then the 3 month outlook, which was last made back around Christmas time, hasn't been updated recently, has us about average, maybe leaning slightly above average temperature wise, but.
Most of the southern U.S. and northern Alaska being above.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to discuss with you. Did you see those crazy statistics where there was one particular time, I think it was last week, the temperature was the same in Anchorage and in Tampa? Did you see something along those lines?
Yes, I saw that.
That's kind of, to me, that's a little concerning, wouldn't you say?
Not really.
Okay, not too concerning.
Well, yeah. That was an anomalously cold air mass that did affect Tampa. But Anchorage isn't really that cold.
Okay.
Because of it being closer to the ocean.
Oh, that's a good point.
Plus, you also have the KURadio current, the warm ocean current that's off by Japan.
Okay.
Which is bringing up all the warm water
up
towards Alaska. So, really, Anchorage isn't that cold if you want to consider it. If you want to get cold in Alaska, you definitely have to go inland.
Yeah.
That would be toward, Fairbanks.
That's true.
Nome. Nome's a little further north.
Well,
but
Nome's kind of like, I think Nome's like, we're looking at a map here. It's like up over here somewhere.
Straight.
Yeah. Barrow, definitely Barrow.
Definitely.
Way up there. Okay.
But Anchorage actually has about similar wintertime temperatures as Cleveland.
And speaking of Tampa, like we said, Florida did have, Tampa just had, I don't think Tampa had any snow. Orlando had some flurries, but Jacksonville, I think, actually had enough snow to cover the ground.
Yes, I saw children making snow angels.
Yeah, so that's pretty incredible for them.
Yeah, you don't typically get snow or that cold diving that far south.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the city of Atlanta saying on their Facebook page, don't brave the 30-degree below temperatures or below 30-degree temperatures. You're warm Atlanta blood can't take it.
Right. And I think I even saw like Miami had a couple days during that spell where it was only highs in the 50s. And that to us that would be like great, but for Miami that's pretty darn chilly.
Yes.
So imagine those Miami people; they must have thought it was the end of the world or something.
Yeah, they could have very well been.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dr. Davis, I think we filled a fair amount of time, and just about 15 minutes, so that's perfect. We'll wrap it up right there. We didn't really do a topic, but our whole thing was kind of a topic because we worked in some other things about climate change and stuff as we were doing it, so that worked out very well. So we're going to be getting ready for semester starting soon. Quick rundown. How's your semester looking, Dr. Davis?
It's looking good. I got 3 physical geography sections and climatology.
Good. So it'll be fun, and we'll continue to try to do these as often as possible, ideally every week, but more practically probably every other week or so, but we'll definitely give it a go, right? The old college try, as they say.
The old college try for us, yes.
All right. Dr. Davis, Monsoon, Mike, we'll catch you back here next time.
Sounds good.